let's see if we can do the same when we increase the security level. So as you can see here, the security level is set to 0, so it's the least secure right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on toggle security, and that will increase our security level to number 1, which will basically make the website more secure so that the attacks will not work the same way that it used to be. So again, we're still at the same page, we're at the login page, and we're going to try to bypass the login using the exact same way that we did in the previous lecture. So I'm going to put admin followed by a comment, and then we can put any password we want right here. And I'm going to hit enter. And as you can see, we get an error message saying that some illegal characters got detected. So let's try the other exploit that we found, which was we put the username normally, and then we put the password as anything, we close the quote, and we use or1 equal to 1, which is correct. So again, I'm going to just keep the username as admin normally, and then I'll paste this exploit right here. Hit enter, and again we get the same error saying that some illegal characters got detected. Now this filtering could be happening at the client side or it could be happening at the server side. What I mean is, if it's happening at the client side, the stuff is being filtered before it gets sent to the server. The other way, at the server side, means these characters are being detected and filtered at the server side after they get sent to the server. Now, if it's happening on the client side, then it's very easy to bypass using burp proxy. Burp can also help us identify whether this is happening at our side, at the client side, or if it's happening at the server side. So as usual, we're going to go to the proxy, and I'm going to set up the proxy settings again for Firefox, just like we did in previous videos, so that it uses burp. So we're going to go on advanced settings, and we're going to use manual configuration and set to port 8080. So that's all good. Now everything we do, as we seen before, should go through burp. So if we go to home, you'll see that packets are coming here. If we forward them, they go to the server. So again, when I go to the login, the packets come here, we forward them from burp, and then they go here. Now watch this. Now I'm going to try to put in the username as admin, and I'm going to put this exploitation right here. And when I paste it, notice that the packet will not be sent. So I'm going to click on login and see that nothing was sent to burp. So this request was stopped before it even reaches the internet, before it even reached the server. So it was stopped by some code loaded on the browser or in this web page itself. So the filtering is happening on the client side, on our side, before it even goes to the website. And it's telling us that some dangerous characters were detected. So let's go back to our diagram here. So we have our HTML website with client-side filtering. So when it detects special characters, the client-side code will remove these characters or it will display an error. So what we're doing is we're going to write a username and a password without any special dangerous characters. We're just going to write it normally, send the request, which will bypass the filtering that's happening on the same page on the client side. It's going to go to burp proxy, then right here, when it comes to here, we're going to modify it and add our dangerous special characters that will allow us to bypass authentication or run code on the target website. Once we do that, we're going to send it to the server will execute and send it to us. So using burp, we're going to be able to bypass client-side filtering. So let's go back and see how we're going to do this. So we're going to use a normal username as admin. And I'm gonna put a random password, so it doesn't have to be right. I'm just gonna put a. Doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna click on login. Now this is a valid request, so it will be sent to the internet. It won't be stopped by the filter which works on the client side. So I'm gonna click on login, and as you can see, the request has came here, and the request in here we can see that the username is admin, and the password is a. So what we're going to do now, we're going to actually modify the username and the password values right here instead of modifying them at the web browser. Because at this stage, we've bypassed the filter. So the username and the password were valid at the client side. They got sent to the internet. Before they got into the internet, we captured them by burp proxy. And we're going to modify this password exactly the same way that we wrote our exploitation in the previous video. So this is going to be AA or 1 is equal to 1, and then we close it with the comment here. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat this. So the filtering is happening at the client side by JavaScript code, which gets executed on the page itself. So the request is being stopped before it even reaches the server. When we run burp, we actually used a good username and password that are not considered to be dangerous. They pass through the filter, and before they go to the internet, we have burp proxy working, which captured that. We're going to modify it in here because we've already bypassed the filter. And when I click on forward, you'll see that I managed to log in as the admin.